Eiichi Miyazato began his training with Master Choja Miyagi in 1935 at the age of 13. Except for a brief time when during World War II he was posted to Manchuria, he remained a student of Miyagi's until the time he passed away. When he did pass away, he assumed the role of teacher at the famous Garden Dojo at the request of the students and the Miyagi family until his own dojo, the Jundokan, was built 4 years later in 1957. He also assumed the role of chief instructor of the police academy where Miyagi had been the head instructor. After his passing, his son became the Kancho of the dojo, and the students remained true to the ideals even till today that Miyazato sensei taught. When interviewed about Miyagi's teachings outside the physical techniques, he said, "He taught that our behavior should be modest, not to stand out, not to grow our hair or beards long, to always be alert and cautious." This interview does not match the video on the interview on this DVD, but we felt that this short interview conducted by Kent Moyer was more interesting, and due to technical glitches, the actual interview on this tape was not able to be translated. Grandmaster Eiichi Miyazato, 1921 to 1999, Okinawan Goju Karate, 10th Dan, Hanshi. On Saturday, December the 11th, 1999, Eiichi Miyazato passed away in Okinawa, Japan. Miyazato sensei was one of the greatest Goju masters that trained directly with the founder, Choja Miyagi. Many masters who have come to the United States have told stories about the history of Goju and their training background. Even though Eiichi Miyazato has passed away, the memory will live on for a long time. The students who trained under his organization remember him as a person who would tell it like it was. Miyazato sensei has never sought the martial arts limelight and has never wanted to be famous. Many people who sought his training were seeking out information of Goju history and trying to understand the information that was being told to them in the other parts of the world. Who were the senior students of Choja Miyagi? Throughout the history of Okinawan Goju Karate, it is well documented who were Choja Miyagi's top students at the time of his death in 1953. There have been many articles and magazines and books about Goju Karate history from students of Choja Miyagi and other top masters. In 1953, the following names are loud and clear to all of us who were senior students of Miyagi Sensei. They were Higa Seiko, age 55, 1898 to 1966. Meitoko Yagi, age 41. Eiichi Miyazato, age 30, 1921 to 1999. Koshin Iha, age 28, 1925 to present. Sekichi Toguchi, age 37, 1917 to 1999. It is important to understand how old they were at the time of Miyagi Sensei's death. This will help you to understand who were the seniors and their relationship with Miyagi Sensei at the time of his death. Question: what is your feeling about tournament karate and cross-training in other martial arts? Miyazato Sensei: For the past several years, I have read magazine articles about tournament karate. Miyagi-sensei and I both predicted that in order to promote karate, we must hold tournaments. I have been doing karate for over 60 years. When I began karate, there was no protective gear. The protective gear will allow the student to further his kumite techniques. Miyagi-sensei also recommended Hojo Undo to strengthen our bodies and all other arts and sports to improve our health. He told us that we should not just train in karate, but to try other arts such as judo and kendo. If your body is strong from training in other arts and Hojo Undo, you will be able to withstand any strikes or kicks to your body. In the same respect, you will be able to stop an attacker with one punch or one kick. Question: how long were Miyagi-sensei's training classes? Answer: in those days, training would last between 2 and 4 hours, and training was very free to come and go on your own. The most number of students that would train was about 10. Question: was the Miyagi family house at the same location before the war? Answer: it is the same location but a different house. After the war, Miyagi-sensei taught at several other locations in Okinawa. Question: who were some of the students who trained before the war? Answer: most of the students before the war have died, quit karate, or were killed during the war in Okinawa. In 1953, when Miyagi Chojun died, all senior students held a meeting to decide what to do about the future of Goju karate. Many of the seniors stopped practicing for a long period of time and did not want to become involved. A lot of them forgot the katas or were never taught all of them. I was one of the few students who were fortunate to be taught all the katas. This was a very difficult period of time for everyone in Okinawa. Our Grand Master of Goju had just died suddenly. We had no water. We had no electricity, and some families were without a house. It was a survival period where our primary concern was for our families and to provide food for them. It was not on karate. After the war, Miyagi-sensei asked me to teach karate at the police academy. I then became an assistant to Miyagi-sensei. I was also training in judo. The home that Miyagi taught us at was not in good condition. I went around and asked people for money to build a nice dojo there. I began working very hard to build a better dojo for my teacher, but Miyagi-sensei suddenly died. At the time before Miyagi's death, he was under a tremendous amount of stress and grief. 2 of his daughters were on the ship Sushi Maru, going to mainland Japan during the war. The ship was hit by a bomb and sank at sea. His 3rd son, Jun, was killed during the war at Nambu section of Okinawa. Miyagi's number 1 disciple, Jinan Shinzato, was also killed during the war. I feel that all of the emotional stress was part of the reason Miyagi-sensei suddenly died. Question: was Jinan Shinzato being prepared to be the successor to Chojun Miyagi? Answer: no, he was a gifted student, however, but at the age of 44, he was killed during the war in the village of Kin. Question: what was the relationship between Miyagi Chojun and Higa Seiko? Higa Seiko was also a student of Kanryo Higashiono until Higashiono's death in 1917. Higa then became a student of Miyagi-sensei. He trained mostly with Miyagi-sensei before the war. Question: how did Miyagi Chojun feel about making money from karate? Answer: Miyagi felt that a person should not make money from teaching karate. Kanryo Higashiono sensei also felt the same way. Today, karate has become twisted because unqualified instructors who only train for a short time have now made a lot of money from opening dojos and promoting students. Many of them have forgotten some of the katas. It would now become quite embarrassing for them to go to their former junior students to relearn a kata. Question: why is there so much of a difference between each Goju organization's katas? Answer: because of what I just said. There are big differences between teachers that have learned only a little of our system versus the entire Goju system. Question: were the katas taught differently before the war versus after the war? Answer: yes, very different. Question: was there more of a Chinese influence, open hand techniques before the war? Answer: yes, the katas that I was taught and teach in my dojo represents what was taught after the war. Question: who was training with Miyagi at the time of his death? Meitoku Yagi, Eiichi Miyagi, who? Answer: Yagi Meitoku was. Eiichi Miyagi was my student. He came to Miyagi Chojun to study with him, but he only trained for a short time, and Miyagi Chojun died. Eiichi Miyagi came to train under me. He trained with Miyagi Chojun under my direction for maybe 1 year. During that time, if you add up the number of days, it came to about a month training in 1 year. Eiichi Miyagi was never recognized as a student of Miyagi Chojun. He was only 22 years old at the time of Miyagi's death. Author's final comment. As I write this article, I was very saddened about the passing of Grandmaster Eiichi Miyazato. He was one of the greatest masters that I have been able to meet and train with at his dojo. I was with my first Goju karate master, Chuck Merriman Sensei, shortly after the time of Miyazato Sensei's passing. Merriman Sensei did everything he could do to go to Okinawa to Miyazato Sensei's funeral. I admire what Merriman Sensei did for his teacher. Miyazato Sensei was a very simple man. He did not seek out covers of magazines, make huge sums of money from his martial arts, or want the power of running a large karate organization. He truly practiced the teachings of Chojun Miyagi Sensei. Simple, direct, and uncomplicated. Just have fun training is what he would say. That's what Miyazato Sensei did every day at his dojo in Okinawa until he passed away. Miyazato enjoyed teaching karate to anyone who wanted to learn. Note: Kent Moyer is an Okinawan Goju karate student. He is the U.S. headmaster of International Okinawan Goju Karate, Kobudo Kenshikai in Los Angeles, California, USA.
はい、整列。
整列。
これで終わります。